It's like, you see how like, all right, this is a great example. You see how like Logan Paul and Jake Paul.
Oh yeah.
Everybody can realize on the outside how, I wouldn't say unintelligent, but like
they're the Tekashi 6ix9ine of white people. They just get famous for being shitty.
It's like they've got a thing, and it's made them money.
Yeah.
And it's almost like they think you begin to think that it is a character trait.
100%, dude. Because their dad's the same exact way.
Their dad?
Dude, their dad is a fucking worse.
I don't.
Oh, well, I watched the whole video about it because keep in mind, I came up through YouTube. Like that was like how I got into this industry.
Right.
So I knew Logan Paul. I've worked with Logan Paul, and he was kind of nice, quiet guy when I was working with him because he wasn't like famous really. He was just a Vine guy. Like I worked with all the Vine people, like all the big Vine people. So he was fine. But then I started watching all the Jake Paul stuff that went insane, and then the everyday bro thing that literally made me hit my head against the table when I first heard it. And, it just became, this circus. And it was this massive circus on YouTube. And it gave YouTubers a bad name, but who gives a shit? It gave, everybody in LA just this embarrassing shit stain of a dude. And, you start watching all these videos because you're like fascinated by how shitty this guy is and how insanely cheesy and corny and out of touch he is. And then you see videos about how his dad is in the videos and how his dad's like making out with his Jake Paul's friends and like these really creepy little things. And then he has like a handlebar. He's like exactly like what you think he is. He's just like this like redneck dad from Ohio. He has like a goatee / like handlebar mustache with like no hair. He has like a tap out shirt on and he's just like screaming at the camera like, "Oh, fuck the haters," or whatever. Like that's the kind of personality he is.
Well, then it all makes sense.
It makes total sense, dude. Complete sense.
But like you see people like that and they just do something.
Mm-hmm.
They just keep doing it, and it's like ignorance is bliss.
Yeah.
And what a lot of people get mad at, which is natural, you get mad at people who are ignorant of their own lack of understanding of something.
Of course.
Or lack of their own like moral character.
Yeah.
And it makes you mad because you can see it, but they can't. Yeah. And they're profiting from it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Of course it makes us mad, dude. Of course.
And so you kind of have to battle against that and be like, oh, it's okay. Like he doesn't understand that. Like it's like any pop star who's out there, like Tekashi 6ix9ine or whatever, talking about banging chicks and like money and drugs, and it's like, yeah, of course he thinks that's a good thing because it's fulfilling him right now.
Yeah, and I also think
it's not going to forever.
Well, I think like ever since the beginning of these Paul brothers, I feel like it's always been like no press is bad press, no matter what you do.
Yeah,
and if you keep the name fresh, you're fine. And then that Logan guy had the Suicide Forest controversy.
Sure,
that I thought that should end anybody, dude. Like that was some horrible shit.
Not the Maverick, baby.
No, man, not at all. And the craziest part about it is they're so heavy-handed and like blunt about what they want you to do with their marketing. This is a side note, but I just remembered it was from the same time. They had a song come out because their audience is kids. Like they know their audience is kids. Their audience is middle schoolers, right?
Yeah.
That was their audience. Like nowadays it's more or less like the, high school young people crowd, I guess.
Probably still middle schoolers.
Probably middle schoolers. But no, I think it's more TikTok people now. But anyways, so they had a song around Christmas time that came out like right after the Suicide Forest called "Buy Our Merch." That was the song.
Okay.
And they had Santa Claus, and you can even bring this up. You should bring it up. You should bring up this song because I promise you it is the funniest thing I've ever heard because I cannot believe how heavy-handed it was. It was a song with a hook that said, "Buy our merch, buy our merch," just over and over, over. And it's the most like, are they being serious? Like this can't possibly be their strategy. And it was. And they sold so much because everybody posted it making fun of them. And guess what? All it was doing was say buy our merch. So it's like,
yeah, I'm definitely not going to play that song.
Don't play that song. All I'm saying is you should listen to it later and just laugh because it's so insanely ballsy of a strategy.
Well, I
couldn't
fun?
believe it.
Like I know that the Paul brothers get a lot of shit, as they should.
They should because that's what they ask for.
But you know what's so interesting about people is it's so hard to be humble. Like it's so hard. Like a lot of people struggle with that. I'm not saying you or me.
People in general, yes. But inherently it isn't. You just have to be okay with yourself. Like you have to be fine with who you are.
But like, I see people that call out Jake Paul or like who are thinking, who say, like, I've seen the podcast where he's like, yeah, everybody thinks I'm going to lose to Floyd Mayweather, but I'm going to beat him. And it's
There's
like
a massive disconnect in reality there. But yeah,
it's such a disconnect.
Yeah.
And he takes it personal that people are not supporting him and not thinking he's going to win. And it's like, but that's the problem. Like the problem is you have this sense of yourself that like people should think you would automatically beat the greatest boxer of all time in a boxing match.
Yeah. It's like, what are you even talking about?
Right. I know that you believe in yourself, and that's great. But like everybody else can see the discrepancies.
Of course.
Between
especially
skills.
When you look at statistics here.
It's like you just started, like there's so many statistics that don't make you look like you can beat the greatest boxer in the world.
Yeah.
But to him, he'll always take it personal. He even had Mike Tyson on his podcast.
Oh yeah, I heard that. And he goes, you might get a punch in for the show, but that's about it.
Right. You're going to get worked or something like that.
Yeah, he said, he's like, can I even get a hit on him? And then Mike Tyson's like, he might get you a hit just to make the show interesting,
right.
But that's about it.
Yeah.
And he goes, really? He's like, yeah, but I mean, you step in the ring and anything can happen, I guess. And he goes,
that's what I need.
Yeah. And then he was like, yes, finally, Mike Tyson tells me I can beat him.
Yeah.
Even though that's not what that meant at all.
And he might just be making a joke, being funny, but like
he was trying to be nice too a little bit to him because he's on his show.
Yeah, but like, yeah, I think that's what people get upset about with the Pauls. But like, I don't. It's just like, let them find out. Let people find out
here's what
how
I'll do.
Not good they are at certain things.
Here's what I would say from a betting perspective, from a sports bet perspective.
Oh yeah, you
put all your money on. Put all your money on Floyd, but put 10% on Jake or on Logan.
You're not going to win anything if you put it on Floyd. Really,
that's my point.
Yeah.
If it's like the odds are like 100 to 1, dude, put $100 on it.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
What can you lose? $100? Fuck it. But if he wins, dude, you're rich. And that's why I'm like, maybe I hope this is set up.
Right. I mean, it could be like a wrestling match.
Yeah.
Like a pro wrestling match.
Well, dude, the funniest thing about all this is like, did you not see Conor McGregor take on Floyd Mayweather? And Conor's a highly comparable fighter.
Yeah.
And he didn't beat him.
Yeah.
Why would you think this guy who just started boxing would somehow get it?
But then again, man, if you're throwing heavy hands...
Yeah, you could catch him on the chin, maybe.
Yeah, you're always risking it. Especially he's bigger. He's like 6'3".
He's huge, dude. He's like, I would not fight that guy.
Yeah, he's a tall dude.
I'm not going to doubt his skill and stature and all that. Dude, I know him in person. Like, I've seen him in person. Yeah. He's a big guy.
Yeah.
And when I saw his build, he's a big guy.
Yeah.
I know muscles don't mean that you're a good fighter. I know that for a fact. I'm not afraid of somebody's stature and chiselness or whatever. Like, I don't care. But I will be honest with you. If you get caught with a hook, check hook, or a 2 or even a jab in the wrong place, dude, you were fucked pretty bad.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you get caught with anything, it's not a good...
Any of those 4 things, you're fucked.
I've seen him wrestle. He's a way better wrestler.
He was an all-state wrestler, wasn't he?
Yeah. Yeah, in Ohio. He's actually a better wrestler than he is a puncher.
So he's Ben Askren.
No, Ben Askren is like the highest level of wrestling with the lowest level of striking.
Oh, seriously?
That's why he's such a good wrestler. Is his hands
so bad for him, man.
No, he made so much money. That was the game.
Though. Yeah, but I feel bad.
That was the game, dude.
Yeah,
he doesn't care.
I guess so. That's why he didn't. You know what's
dude.
Probably funny? That's probably why he didn't market it too much that he was there, because he didn't do any promotion for himself.
He actually did.
I didn't see.
Did you follow his Instagram?
Who does?
Me.
Okay. Well, did he do any?
Yeah, he did.
Did he do any posts since then, by the way?
Yeah, he's had a bunch of posts, a bunch of interviews on like...
what did he say? How did he describe it?
He's like, yeah, I got hit, man. He's like, that's what happens.
Yeah, it's true, huh?
He's got such a great perspective on competition. That's why like the wrestling community really loves him. It's because he was able to use his perspective on competition in wrestling and translate that over to MMA and become a multiple-time world champion.
Yeah.
And really, at the end of the
day,
really at the end of the day, competition is just like, okay, you might win, you might lose.